Peter Buckley has been living with an iPad for several months now. He told me he was surprised how easy it was to use.
I was most surprised at how easily it became a kind of sofa computer, and it was sort of sat around in the living room on the coffee table, and my wife would use it and my daughter would use it, and it just felt incredibly, it's a very neutral device within the home. It really feels accessible to everyone who's there. It's incredibly intuitive to use, and I think the really interesting thing about the iPad is that it kind of does away with the notion of a file system. If you think about the way people use Windows computers and Mac computers, you have a desktop, you have folders, you have to worry about organising all your applications and all your files. But what the iPad does very well, which Apple have kind of been training us up for a couple of years, is puts documents inside applications, so you always know where everything is, and it's a very much more intuitive way of working.
This could be a whole new way of consuming news and features and magazine material. Do you see it replacing a newspaper anytime soon?
I think for some people it will, but for other people it won't. People like the feeling of paper, people like books, people like newspapers, but it really is really hard to know how quickly the shift will happen. If you'd asked me 15 years ago if I thought people would say goodbye to their CD collections on the wall in favour of MP3s, I wouldn't have said it would happen as quickly as it did. So it really will be interesting to see.
It hasn't replaced the laptop in that sense, or do you think it might?
Oh no, it has. I think it has, and I mean, there's already a suggestion that if anything, the iPad sales in the US have eaten into Apple's laptop sales in the last month. Whether that's just an initial blip, we'll have to wait and see. But in terms of my personal experience, I've not taken my laptop out for the last 4 or 5 weeks and haven't really missed it.
Because you can do everything you could?
Because I can do everything that I needed to do, that I do on a laptop, I can do on the iPad, including writing, email, web surfing. I've watched a couple of movies in bed and it works really well. There are some really great websites for streaming TV. So the most useful thing I found for that has been as a little portable TV. So you stream your TV off the net and walk around the house with it. It is a drastically different way of interacting with a digital device. And it's really worked for me and my family. We've really enjoyed it. I think what will the defining moment for these kind of devices will really be the fact that developers want to develop for them, and that will set apart the boys from the men, if you like. Apple have an army of devoted developers out there who want to build for this platform and are already starting to build for this platform. But Android equally, from Google's operating system, there's lots of people who want to build for them as well. So it'll be interesting to see what tablet devices pop up with Android over the coming months, because they will be a strong contender.
That developing world, I mean, what are you hearing? What buzz are you getting back from there?
The development kit for building for the iPad came out several months ago, so a lot of developers have been building stuff already, and there's a lot in the store already on the day of launch. But it's only going to go up and up and up in the same way it did for the iPhone. If anything, though, I think people are being slightly more sensible and cautious in terms of what they're developing this time around, because the iPhone App Store got very busy very quickly with a lot of nonsense, and I think developers have started to learn what will sell and what won't sell and what's a bit of a waste of time. So I'm hoping that the App Store for the iPad is going to be a bit more class.